Born in England on February 14, 1847, Anna Howard Shaw immigrated with her family to the United States when she was 4 years old. And at the age of 12 years, her family bought 360 acres just north of here in Ashton, Michigan. At the age of 15, she became a teacher. After leaving that position, she roomed with her sister right here in Big Rapids, where she attended high school. Later, fulfilling a lifelong dream to attend college, she entered Albion College in 1874. Afterwards, Shaw attended Boston University, which is where I attended for my master's degree, where she earned degrees in medicine and ministry, becoming one of the first ordained women in the Methodist Church. Anna Howard Shaw is primarily known as a major leader of the women's suffrage movement in the United States and a champion for world peace. A statue commemorating Shaw is on display in the recently renamed Anna Howard Shaw Memorial Park next to the Big Rapids Public Library. To celebrate Anna Howard Shaw's life and the centennial anniversary of the 19th Amendment, a commissioning agreement was entered into with Indiana composer Michael Boo for today's concert. Mr. Boo is a graduate of Vandercook University and has over 70 musical compositions to his name. He has also been a staff writer for Drum Corps International for over 3 decades. He plays percussion with the Windiana Concert Band and is a marching alum of the Cavaliers Drum and Bugle Corps. Please welcome Michael Boo to discuss his newest composition, To Love a Great Cause, More Than Life Itself. Please welcome Michael Boo.
I stand before you in awe of several things that are so much bigger than myself. The title of this composition is taken directly from the first line of the placard at the Anna Howard Shaw sculpture next to your public library. When I was approached with this commission possibility, I had all sorts of ideas. I can safely say none of which ended up in the final product, because when I started researching Anna Howard Shaw, who I knew nothing about, I absolutely fell in love with this magnificent creation of her creator. She is so eminently quotable. If you were to ask me before this project, who I think the most quotable people in the history of the United States were, I would have told you Abraham Lincoln and Will Rogers. But I have to add Anna Howard Shaw to that list. And frankly, I have to put her at the very top. It is just amazing going through her speeches and her writings, the pain that she had as at the time a second-class citizen. We can't imagine those times now. The humor that she was able to show forth despite all that, her strength as a fighter, her desire to become a minister so she could preach to the flock, and then finding out that so many people that she visited didn't have proper health care, so of course she did what any of us would have done. She went and got a degree to become a doctor, and became a doctor and was able to serve people, their soul and their bodies. And her work with the suffragette movement, it's so hard today to believe that we ever had a time, a very long period of time in this country of over a decade, of over a century, when women were not allowed to vote. It's inconceivable today. But in my research, I was originally planning that this was all going to be based on original melodies. There's one original melody in the entire 9-minute piece. Through the Library of Congress website, I discovered all these magnificent melodies from the suffragette movement. I unfortunately also discovered a lot of anti-suffragette songs. And if you saw the covers of these anti-suffragette songs which were published, you'd be rightfully appalled. There was so much that Anna Howard Shaw and the people she worked with, Susan B. Anthony and others, had to contend with to bring us to where we are today. So this piece incorporates many of those melodies, just wonderful melodies. And originally it was just going to have a few quotes from Anna Howard Shaw, and instead it's become kind of a travelogue of her writings and her speeches. That's where the piece wanted to go. I've heard the band play this. They are magnificent. You're going to be so happy with them. I've heard the narration, and I can't think of a better person than Courtney to bring this to your attention. It turns out that Courtney, every time that she votes, takes her I voted sticker over to the Anna Howard Shaw statue next to the library and puts it there. This is a very powerful message that we must remain vigilant. We must not let these liberties that we have ever disappear. Anna Howard Shaw's words today are as meaningful as they were over a century ago. I am so honored to be here. I am so honored to have this massed ensemble perform this work and do such a magnificent job with it. I am so honored to hear Courtney give the presentation. And I thank you for this opportunity. You have an incredible city here that celebrates the arts. It's something to be cherished because there are an awful lot of places that don't. The arts are falling out of a lot of schools. They're thriving here. Please keep embracing them. It is such an inspiration to come here and see what you have going on in this community. And you really should give yourselves a round of applause for that.
Nothing bigger can come to a human being than to love a great cause more than life itself. So said Anna Howard Shaw, famed suffragist. She was revered as an orator, dedicated as a surgeon, and comforting as an ordained minister. Born in England in 1847, she grew up outside Big Rapids, Michigan, and became one of the first licensed ministers in the Methodist Church. Shaw became a doctor and later served for 10 years as president of the National Women's Suffrage Association. She traveled continuously to preach about suffrage, why women must have the right to vote. 1887, she met famed suffragette Susan B. Anthony, and the two women traveled, marched, and campaigned extensively for women's suffrage. And during their journeys, she was never at a loss for words. Splendid scientific force and energy of the splendid virile manhood are being called out to be food for the cannon. And looking into the face of one dead man, we see two dead, the man and the life of the woman who gave him birth, the life she wrought into his life. Oh, how wonderful he is, and he is hers. She gave her life for him, and in an hour this country calls him out, and in an hour he lies dead. That wonderful, wonderful thing lies dead. And sitting by his side, that mother, looking into the dark years yet to come, knows that when her son died, her life's hope died with him. And in the face of that wretched motherhood, what man dare ask what a woman knows of war? What friends, in the face of a crime like that, what does man know of war? Should be a republic and not an aristocracy. Around me, I saw women overworked and underpaid, doing men's work at half men's wages, not because their work was inferior, but because they were women. When I hear that there are 5 million working women in this country, I always take occasion to say that there are 18 million, but only 5 million receive their wages. I am human, and being human, I have the right to everything. A gentleman said to me, women have never produced anything of any value to the world. I told him the chief product of the women had been the men, and left it to him to decide whether the product was of any value. A speaker before an anti-suffrage meeting stated that if women were permitted the vote, we would not have so much time for charity and philanthropy, and I would like to say, thank God, there will be no such need for charity and philanthropy. The anti-suffragists can gather more statistics than any other person.